Yo, what's up, guys? Insane Game Freak here. This is going to be kind of a discussion and a response at the same time. So, anime and comics, just kind of going off of something Uber Black Man said. So, let's get into it. Okay, so Uber Black Man made a video saying that certain comic books shit on certain anime and manga. This is a response to that, not necessarily to pick a side, but just to kind of give my general thoughts. But since I got the idea from watching the video, I figured I'd go ahead and discuss it. I kind of put them on the same damn level. I treat them the same way because a lot of people think, oh, it's always been the Americans versus the Japanese or some shit. This is the way I think of it is. I think of comic books equal to manga, animated series equal to anime, and like live action movies to anime movies. A lot of people, because in the nerd geekdom sense, a lot of people go, why is it? It's assumed that we read comics and shit anyway. We're comic book nerds and anime manga nerds and everything. But most anime fans are more anime fans than they are manga fans and shit. Well, I don't think is that they're more manga fans. I think they just don't they don't read comic books as much as people read manga. And even that could be considered a lie because I know there's a whole bunch of huge comic book fans like Ziploc Gory. I've heard a few people like Deadpoolzilla too. I've heard, I mean, it's not like the comic book community is dead. Obviously, it's not as big as it used to be because, well, people aren't as interested. But you could say the same thing about manga in a sense. The way I see it is that because I am one of those people who prefer anime manga over comic books, but at the same time, I treat it as you've already seen a version of the same media. Why the fuck you gotta be? It's usually the way I view it is the same way I view anime and manga. I don't read the manga series of an anime I've already watched most of the time. There are rare occasions where I have, but most of the time I stick with the anime. Kind of the same thing with comic books and animated series. If people have seen the animated series for a particular hero, they're probably not gonna fuck with the comic books. For example, now obviously you gotta really, really like it. That's the exception to the rule. Is that usually you have people who really, really like this stuff, like for example, as a comic book example, if you really, really like the Batman animated series and you want to get deeper into the Batman mythos, you pick up books like The Killing Joke or some shit, or some of his really older comics. That's how that's kind of what almost all these live action and these animated series are doing. They're advertisements for the fucking comics, in a sense. Or to just fuck with any material from that series. Like the same thing could be said for The Watchmen or the live action movies. It's like, if you fuck with the media of that particular series already, you're less likely to jump into other things if you didn't like it that much. And a manga anime example is Wagneria. I like Wagneria. I fucking love the anime seasons. I have no desire to go fuck with the manga. The same thing with Mayochiki. I love Mayochiki, but I don't feel like checking out the manga for that. It's the same thing here. You like the Batman animated series, or you like the Spider-Man animated series, or even you like the new fucking Green Lantern animated. Well, it's not really animated, CGI series. But maybe you don't like it enough to want to go check out the comic books. It's the same damn thing. That's why I don't feel. And the reason why people say they like anime and manga more, it's mainly because the animated series and the anime manga world, depending on the series, like for Batman, for example, Batman has death, but in a sense you could say Batman is kind of episodic because it's literally like most of the villains are reoccurring, but you have a lot of episodes that are just episodic in the sense that they defeat the villain in the same episode as they run into the villain. And then they'll randomly show up like maybe 3 or 4 episodes after the fact to do something different, but it's still episodic in the sense that you still beat them. Whereas you have certain animes that have overarching stories and shit. I'm not saying that, animated series are like, animes are deeper than animated series, but at the same time, you can't deny there's a certain depth to both of them. I believe they're both deep in their own ways, and they both have their good points and their bad points. I just feel like when people say comics aren't as popular as manga, well, that's probably because most people would rather. Let's put it this way: there's less of an inspiration to go fuck with comics from an animated series than there is from anime to a manga. Because from anime to a manga, A lot of animes get a lot of bullshit fillers at the ending of their series. For one example, you have Soul Eater who has that problem. People sometimes want to see the continuation of the story, so they'll go read the manga. For comic books, it's not as easy to jump in because it has the Pokemon syndrome where it has a shit ton of reiterations of the same superhero, so you don't fucking know where to start. And from what I've seen, they don't number the issues any differently. It's literally like when they reset the characters in the fucking mythos, it's just like issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, even though there's like 6 issues 1 because there's 6 versions of the same character. Like how a lot of these characters are getting redesigns. Like I think Harley Quinn got another fucking redesign, even though she's had like, what, 3? She had her original design in the animated series. She had a redesign in the Arkham Asylum game, another one in the Arkham City game, and I think she has a 4th one. I don't know where the 4th one's going to show up in, but I heard she has a 4th redesign. You know how they're redesigning Wonder Woman, and they're who the fuck else? You know, Spider-Man's redesigned costume in the live-action movies. You know, it's the same thing. Like, the comic books are a lot more redundant in the sense that you're using the same heroes and you're just giving them different stories. And on top of that, it's episodic as shit. Now, even in anime, you have anime that's episodic. That's why you wouldn't fuck with Wagneria as a manga, because it's an episodic kind of series. Yeah, it has romance in it, but it's still episodic as fuck. That's why people are more checking out the Skate Dance anime than the manga, because the Skate Dance is also very episodic. The only cool parts are the fucking arcs. I mean, those are the parts that really get you thinking. It's the same thing. I'm not saying the Batman series or the Spider-Man series or the Superman series aren't stimulating in their own rights. I'm just saying there's just a bigger appeal there with the anime. Like the anime, some of the animes do make you want to fuck with the manga. Like for example, Kenichi did that. One Piece did that for me. Naruto did that for me. Sekirei did that for me. Where I went and checked out the mangas for all of those. Kenichi and Sekirei specifically, because Kenichi stops at like its first arc, even though Kenichi has a shit ton of arcs. Kenichi has almost as many chapters as Bleach. So obviously after the Ragnarok stuff, you kind of want to see what happens next. Same thing with Sekirei. It's like after the bridge plan, what happens next? What's the second round of the fucking Sekirei plan? And you find out it's a fucking tournament. Now, you know, it's the same. The other reason why people would want to fuck with like the second version of the same series is if there's some errors. Like, and that's if they give a fuck enough about the fillers. The fillers or the errors are in like the original versions of things. Like, so maybe the mythos is wrong in some of the animated series. Maybe they changed characters' designs. Like if anyone watched the Batman, I forget which Batman series it is, but it's like it's like the Batman, I believe, where like the Joker looks like this fucking Titan looking motherfucker, where he's jumping around, has like these big ass feet. He looks like a really disturbed, fucked up clown. Like he doesn't look anything like his animated series carnation. That's it. That was a child's first interaction with that, with the Joker or the Batman series in general. With that, maybe they don't give a damn that the Joker doesn't look the same actually in the comics or in the fucking or even in the older series. Maybe they just want to watch or read. I mean, just watch this series and they'll move the fuck on. They don't like it enough to do that. Same thing could be said about series with filler in anime, like Sekirei. Uzume dies in the fucking in the second season way too early in the anime, even though in the manga it's a bigger deal. Only comic book fans or only anime or only manga fans would get pissed off at these kind of things. It's like, why is the Joker redesigned like this? Well, people who have seen the series, people who are seeing that series for the first time are gonna be like, whoa. What? He's supposed to look like this. Like, they'll set that as the standard. They have to give a fuck enough to go check out the source material. Same thing. It's like, you have to give a fuck enough about Uzume dying to want to go check out the manga to see if she actually died the same way. Which she doesn't, by the way. That's just my whole argument. It's just like, in terms of people saying, and the reason why I won't just flat out say the anime and manga is better is because that would be denying all the pros for comic books and animated series and live action movies, because those movies are great and the animated series are great. But for me personally, if I'm watching the live action movie and the fucking animated series, like for Batman for example, I've seen the animated series for Batman. I've seen a few of the animated series for Batman actually, and I've seen most of the fucking movies. I've seen enough Batman where I don't fucking need to watch I mean, I don't need to read the comics. Like, I don't fucking feel the need to read the comics. Same thing could be said for Spider-Man. And, you know, as I said, they're all, for the most part, just advertisements for the comics. Even though I don't think it really helps the comics out that much. But that also could just be on the fact that they're rewriting the same fucking characters. But that's just my opinion on it. You know, I think they're equal in terms of quality. I just think, for me personally, I kind of prefer anime and manga because anime and manga, it's more of like, it's the same damn story. The manga is just the full version, and you're just watching like a teaser clip sometimes, depending on the show. You know, you got some shows that'll finish the shit out, but most shows, especially if they're only like 13 episodes, are usually cutting off something in the manga. And it's supposed to be kind of like a way for you to fuck with the manga while making money off the actual anime series. Whereas if with the comic books, it's like, if I wanted to go back and check all out the Batman mythos, there are so many different versions of Batman and so many different fucking stories. It is confusing as fuck. Honestly, I still don't know where the fuck to start with Batman or Spider-Man or fuck the Flash. Like, almost a lot, like even the Teen Titans. Like, I'm a huge Teen Titans fan, and I've seen some of the original comics with Teen Titans. It's like, wow, they embellish so fucking much. It makes it kind of hard to get into the fucking comics because I mean, I love the animated series, but the animated series and the comics aren't even the same. It's the same damn thing. There's a lot of continuity issues there too. But that's just me. But me personally, in terms of their quality, I believe they're equal. Just the reason why I prefer one over the other is because I feel like anime and manga kind of flow well better with each other than comics and animated series. Uh, Fuck, even some of the live action movies, you can say the same thing. I mean, take the Amazing Spider-Man, for example, the live action movie we're getting this year. A lot of people don't like it because it's like we have the Tobey Maguire movie, but a lot of people didn't like the Tobey Maguire movie because they started off with Mary Jane and not fucking Gwen Stacy. Now, Mary Jane is kind of made famous through the animated series and the fact that she is Spider-Man's main interest. The same thing with like Lois Lane. But if only comic book fans would know that Gwen Stacy is canon and was important in the original series too. So obviously, you know, comic book fans be like, why didn't you start with Gwen Stacy? So it's like certain movies are for them, same way as like certain animes are for us. Like, for example, One Piece is kind of like the same thing. It's like it's the animated version of what we're reading in the manga instead of cutting off at a certain point. Same thing with Naruto. I could say for Bleach, but we all know Bleach ended, so fuck that. But yeah, that's just kind of my 10, 13-minute, 14-minute sense on the whole situation. But leave your thoughts and comments about it in the comment section below. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is a video response of a black man, so I should have put an annotation at the beginning of the video already. So go subscribe to a black man. He's legit. But anyways, leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Video responses are always welcome. Thank you guys for watching. Life's a game. Play to win. And I'll catch you guys later.
Peace.